Hard sports all plays. Yeah. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they work in your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Friday, December 8, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Not too bad, I don't guess.
How'd you do in your picks yesterday?
Not too good.
Not too good.
Well, let me see. I think I was 2 and 5.
2 and 5?
I believe so. I'm not sure how Colorado did in the hockey game.
They won.
Okay, they end up 3 and 5 then.
So they were one of my picks. I went 5 and 2.
Really? No, I went 3 and 4. I had 7 picks. I went 3 and 4.
You know, 5 and 2. Of course, football game I had the under. That was wrong after the first half.
All right, Pittsburgh.
But in NBA, I was 3 and 0 in NBA because I had the Pacers at the plus 5.5. They won the game. I had the under the 255 in that game. That was good. And then I had the Lakers at the -2, which they destroyed the Pelicans.
I took the Pelicans. I really thought the Pelicans would do something.
Or no, I lied to you. Avalanche lost.
Okay, I was 2 and 5. I was right the first time.
I lied to you. Avalanche lost because I was 2 and 1 in hockey, and the Avalanche was the only game that I had wrong in hockey.
Okay. Yeah, I had a rough night in hockey last night.
Yeah, I had the Maple Leafs, they won. I had the Stars, they won. And the Avalanche got beat. So, yeah, I was 5 and 2. Puts me at 7. Helps you turn to the right page. So 7-12 and 545 on the year. We got a decent, little bit of a slate of games tonight, and of course got football, college football game tomorrow, then NFL on Sunday. Pacers looked good last night, man.
Yeah, they did. They looked real good. I watched the game. I thought they looked really good.
If you listen to some of the announcers, of course, like I thought it was cool Reggie was on ESPN, but and not necessarily him. If you listen to some of the commentary, you could tell that they haven't watched much Pacer basketball because it was like they were so surprised about how Halliburton was playing. And it's like he's been playing like this all season. Yeah. He was playing like this a lot of the last season until he got hurt. Yep. But he's been remarkable this season so far, especially the last 2 games. Like 20 something assists and no turnovers.
And I'm not defending anybody, but the Pacers don't get any primetime games. And it seems like what most people pay attention to is primetime games. They don't pay attention to other stuff. So Maybe if the Pacers, maybe I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see them win this tournament. It ain't a huge deal in my mind. I mean, it may add to their confidence some. I think just these last 3 wins add to their confidence. But if they could go ahead and beat the Lakers, that's the only thing. I mean, I know the guys get a payday and stuff, but it's not a big deal. Saying to me, at least, that you got this cup. I think it's just good experience for them playing tournament kind of basketball to a certain degree, even though I don't hold it as quite as high as the normal NBA tournament and finals and stuff. But I think it's a good experience for them, and they're still. I mean, this is a new team in some regards compared to what they were last year, and they're just now coming together. So I mean, I think they're going to get better if they stay healthy.
The defense is looking better, especially our closeout on the 3 pointers has looked a lot better than it did last year, and even at the beginning of this season.
Yep.
Which I like to see. I mean, that's two pretty two good wins in a row to get the win over Boston and then the Bucks.
Well, and we beat Philly in the first round. So I mean, we got some really good wins there. Main thing is just keep improving and try to stay healthy as you can.
Yeah, there was. Thought the referees was going to try to help the Bucks get back in it there toward the end of that fourth quarter. One dude just ran. Middleton just ran. Forget who it was for the Pacers, but just ran him over, lowered his shoulder, ran him over, and they called it on the Pacers. And they called McConnell for a travel that wasn't a travel. The first one was, but that second one wasn't. I mean, they showed the replay. It's like you get 2 steps, dude. Most time in the NBA, you see guys take 3 or 4, they don't get called for it. It was like boom, boom, a couple quick calls like that on the Pacers. I'm like, come on, but Halliburton with a big 3 there at the end, kind of put the nail in it.
I think the big thing with Halliburton, how's he do all that he does mistake free? I mean, he don't make a whole lot of mistakes, turnovers and things.
He had like 15, 16 assists last night, no turnovers.
You're starting to hear some rumblings about the MVP.
Miles Turner, I thought played well. I like the way he was attacking.
Yep. If Halliburton plays like he's playing right now, all year long, I don't know if he'll get it, but he should be right up there for the MVP.
Oh yeah. I think he will be if he keeps playing like he has been. I think he'll be up there in the MVP conversation.
Right, I know it's early. Right now, who do you think would be the favorite for MVP? Is there one?
I think Halliburton. I haven't really watched enough to give a real good answer on that. I know like Gilchrist Alexander for the Thunder has been playing pretty well. I haven't really been keeping an eye on Jokic's numbers. I'm sure he'll be right up there. He's usually in that conversation every year. Should have got it for the 3rd year straight last year, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, I haven't watched enough of other teams to really give a fair opinion on that. I've watched mostly the Pacers. I've watched the Nuggets a little bit, but I haven't seen a lot of it. A lot of teams play. I mean, I've watched a little bit of I watched a little bit. I didn't watch much of that Lakers game last night because the time we got done with our show, that game at halftime was a 13-point game, and I went to turnover in the 3rd quarter, and they were up by like almost 30. So I ended up not watching it. Hopefully Pacers can play good tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I know won't get to watch it because we'll be at a wrestling show, but. Hopefully they play good and can get a win. Even if they don't win, be competitive. That's the thing I like. We're not just getting blown out by teams. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've had a couple games this year. We got beat by like 50 by the Celtics in a game earlier in the season, which was bad. But most of the games we've been pretty competitive.
Yep. Yeah, we have.
All right, NBA tonight. Let's see. We have a few games tonight. Of course, tomorrow's the championship game of the in-season tournament. But games tonight, I'm gonna take the Celtics at the -7.5 at home against the Knicks. I look for the Celtics come out and play a pretty good game after losing to the Pacers the other night and stuff. I think they're going to come back with a bounce back game. Then Timberwolves at the Grizzlies. I like the Timberwolves at the -6.5. Then we'll take the Suns at the +2.5 at home against the Sacramento Kings. That's going to be my 3 picks for the NBA for tonight.
Yeah, my picks for the NBA tonight. I got Toronto -5.5 at Charlotte. I got Houston at Denver. I'll take Denver -9, and I've got Dallas -8 at Portland.
The only other picks I have for today is hockey. I didn't do no college basketball for today.
I didn't either. I did some for Saturday.
So I'm going with the Panthers on the money line again at home against the Penguins, and I'm going with the Oilers on the money line at home against the Wild. Those will be my 2 picks for hockey.
My NHL picks. I got Pittsburgh at Florida. I'll take Florida money line. I got St. Louis Blues at Columbus. I'll take Columbus money line. And I got Minnesota at Edmonton. I got Edmonton money line also.
All right, then that's all I have for tonight. Saturday, college football, got one game, Army against Navy. This game is at a neutral sites there going to be at Foxborough in New England. Army's a 2.5 point favorite, -146 on the money line. Navy is +122 on the money line. Over-unders at 27.5. I'm going to take Army at the -2.5. But I do expect this to be a close game.
Yeah, I took Army also in that game.
And my only other pick for on Saturday is the NBA game, Pacers and Lakers championship game for the in-season tournament. I'm going to take the Pacers at the +4.5. I'm hoping the Pacers win. I'm a Pacers fan, but even if they lose, I think it's going to be a close, competitive game. I really do. I think this is going to be a good game like we've seen in some of these other ones. I don't think it'll be a blowout. And then I'm going to go with the over the 240.5 in that game as well.
I'm going to pick that game, and I'm going to go the over 240 also. I haven't picked Pacers win or lose this whole tournament, and I don't want to change now. I'm superstitious, so I'm going to go with the over 240. And then also have some college basketball for Saturday. I've got Illinois at Tennessee. I'll take Tennessee -4.5. And I got Wisconsin at Arizona. I'll take Arizona -7.5.
All right, then Sunday NFL. Got a few games I do like. First game I'm gonna go with the Los Angeles Rams at the +7.5 against the Baltimore Ravens. I can see the Ravens winning this game, but I think it's going to be a close, competitive game. Rams are pretty healthy, been playing some pretty good football. So I look for this to be a real good game. So I'm gonna go with the Rams at the +7.5. I just getting to 7.5. I just think 7.5 is too many points.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams don't beat
them. And then you have Buccaneers at the Falcons. I'm gonna take the Falcons at the -2.5. Falcons have been good at home, and the Bucs have struggled on the road this season. So I like the Falcons at the -2.5. Then we'll take the Detroit Lions at the -3 on the road against the Chicago Bears. Could be maybe a close game just because it's a division game, and sometimes them games are close, even if one team's pretty good and the other team's not. But I think the Lions are going to take control of this game, so I like the Lions at the -3. Next game, Houston Texans at the -3.5 against the New York Jets. I just don't. Jets are going back to Zach Wilson, but it hasn't mattered who's played quarterback for the Jets this season so far. And C.J. Stroud's been playing well. Texans have been playing pretty good, so I'm going Texans at the -3.5. And then I'm taking the Buffalo Bills at the +1 against the Kansas City on the road at the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, it's a must-win game for the Bills. It's getting to a point where the Chiefs need to probably win this game as well, but it's even more important for the Bills. Bills last couple of weeks have played a little bit better. I think Josh Allen's going to have a big game. Also, Pacheco is out for the is going to be out for the Chiefs with a shoulder injury, so that could hurt the Chiefs a little bit at the running back position. But yeah, I think the Bills are going to win that game, so I'm going to go with the Bills at the +1. That's all my picks, but a couple little notes. Pacheco is out for the Bills. The Cleveland Browns have are not naming a quarter who is going to be their starter yet, which makes no sense to me because Joe Flacco played good for him last week. He was not the reason they lost that game. Their defense was. So they haven't announced whether it's going to be him or that Thompson Robinson, I think is his name. So that kind of surprised me because I thought it was no question Flacco would be starting. And then the Jags are going to wait till Sunday before they make a decision on Trevor Lawrence. But I know he was out on the practice field yesterday, and I think he was on the field again today. So I think there's a good chance he's going to play, which is remarkable after the way that injury looked.
You didn't take the Colts?
No.
What's the spread?
I forget what the spread is. I think the Colts are going. I think the Colts win.
I had it as Colts -1 last I seen.
I think the Colts win, but I didn't go with them this week. I don't think I took. Did I take them last week? I think I did.
I did too.
Yeah, I did. But they're actually Colts are 1.5 point underdogs.
Oh, 1.5.
+1.5.
Okay, I'll start my picks. I'm taking the Colts +1.5 at Cincinnati. I'm taking Buffalo +1 at Kansas City. I'm taking Houston -3.5 at the New York Jets. I got Detroit -3 at Chicago, and I got Philadelphia +3.5 at Dallas. I'm not sold on Dallas.
No, I think Philadelphia wins that game. I almost took the Eagles in that game. I do think the Eagles win. I do think the Colts win. It was just when I decided to take the Rams game instead. I like the Rams at the +7.5.
I like Philly at 3.5 because even if Dallas beats them, I don't think they can beat them by more than 3. So that's why.
I like that pick. I think Philly wins that game outright. I really do. Seems until Dallas beats one of these good teams, it's hard for me to pick them because I mean
Seattle was a decent win for them, but not not great.
Best win they have, but still Seattle. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but they're not one of the top teams, especially with some of the injuries they've had with Walker being out. And
they've had a lot of injuries
and some of that. So until I see the Cowboys beat a team like the 49ers or the Eagles, teams that if they're going to make a playoff run that they're going to have to beat in the NFC, it's hard to pick them in those games because the Eagles beat them a couple weeks ago. And look what 49ers have done to both of them. 49ers destroyed both of them.
What did you think of that Pittsburgh New England game last night?
It was a better game than what I thought it was going to be because I didn't think either team would score. I was going to be surprised if either team scored more than 10 points. The way I was looking at it, I didn't think either team would. I thought it was going to be like a 10-6 game, kind of like that Bears and Minnesota game that we watched on Monday Night Football a few weeks ago. That was just that's what I was thinking last night's game was going to be. I mean, it wasn't a terrible. I mean, it wasn't a great game, but it wasn't a terrible game either. Didn't agree with some of the stuff that Pittsburgh done with some of their offensive calls. You don't take a field goal when you're having trouble scoring, and it's just now starting the fourth quarter. And if you end up taking that field goal, the way the game ended up, and then it could have affected that.
Well, it did.
I know they stopped them and got the ball back and scored, but I mean, you could have got the field goal. Maybe you stop them and you still score. Well, you know what I mean?
The play call.
And then play call on 4th and 2.
Well, the third and the fourth.
Yeah. Down. Why are you going downfield at a low percentage throw on 4th and 2 when, if you watched the play, there was a guy wide open in the middle of the field for a first down? But I think some of that's on the quarterback too, because I mean, the play's called. You got to see the field. If you see a guy wide open there, you got to take the guy. You can't force it downfield on a 4th and 2 like that. I don't
know why you even consider it a 30-yard pass at that.
Well, what I'm saying, I mean, I can understand if you call offensive play and you have got one guy running the deep route because you're trying to create space for everybody. But as a quarterback, that's not you have to know that's your last option.
That's a low percentage.
That's your last option on this play. You got to find the guy your main goal is to get the first down on this play, and you have a guy wide open and you don't even look at him. You go for the deep option.
There were some Pittsburgh fans online that I'm friends with that were upset that they got cheated. They said they got cheated, that was a pass interference call. I didn't agree. I didn't think that was a pass interference. I really didn't. Now they did get a little bad call, but I don't think it cost them the game. They should have been offsides. They got called on them.
See, I thought that too, but on McAfee's show today, he talked about that, and he said that's the right call.
Really?
And he showed a replay of that snapper, and his head did move different than what it normally did, but he said what it was. I guess Belichick actually went to the referees and said, "Hey, watch out for this," and kind of got that call. But he said, because McAfee said when he was a holder, they got him a few times because, like, if you try to draw them off sides, you can move your hand, but you can't move your hand forward. If your hand moves forward, it's a false start on the holder, and he got called for that for the first time. You can move your hand backwards or up down, but it can't go forward. And he said a lot of times don't get called unless a coach is pointing it out to the referee, like, hey, keep an eye. This is something, like he said. So he thinks it's something that Belichick had seen and got him on, but he thought it was the right call. I thought it was offsides on New England as well, but because I've seen snappers move their head up and down like that before. But I mean, he's a guy that was on special teams, and he thought it was the right call.
Okay,
and they're Pittsburgh guys. But yeah, I agree with you. I did too. I thought it was tick tacky compared to what you usually see.
but I'm not either way. I don't think that cost them the game.
No, I don't think what cost them the game was defense couldn't stop nothing in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting Bailey Zappi drive down the field on you like he's all pro quarterback.
Well, there was on those play calls there towards the end, and then also the time they had the ball before that, they kept going deep. I mean, you need first downs, to try to keep drives going, and you're throwing 30. I mean, I didn't agree with a lot of play calls, and like I said, some of them may be on the quarterback too. But
yeah, but my thing is, it's easy to keep sitting here and saying they need a quarterback, the quarterback. But then if you look at all the teams that are playing in the league right now with backup quarterbacks and are figuring out ways to score points and win games. I mean, hell, the Indianapolis Colts have been playing with their backup quarterback for most of the season.
Yep.
7-5, was one of the only teams that scored over 20 points every game. And you're telling me that a coach like Tomlin, who's supposed to be such a good coach, can't get a quarterback. They can't figure out how to get. And you have a quarterback in Mitch Trubisky who's been if I remember right, he's been an All-Pro before, hasn't he? I think once. I mean, he's won a playoff game.
Well,
he's had some. Don't get me wrong, he's not a great quarterback, but he's had some success in the NFL. And you can't score points with him or pick it. I mean, same thing with New England. I mean, Belichick's supposed to be the best coach ever, and you can't get a quarterback in there that you can at least do something with. I mean, and look what Minnesota done. They bring a quarterback in, didn't even get to practice with them or nothing, and won a game.
True,
yeah, but last couple of games he's played rough. But
about replacing him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, New England, Pittsburgh, these teams are struggling to even score points.
That's true.
And you see a lot of these other. I mean,
look what Browning did last week.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
he didn't do that
some of it has to go. Some of it has to go back on your offensive coaching staff.
You got to try to put in a plan that's going to work for that quarterback. I mean, it can't be the same plan that you had for your for your starters. For your normal play, you got to change because like the Colts, they had to change. I mean, the guy they have now can't do the things that Richardson did. So I mean, you have to change your game plan. And he's really good. If he don't turn the ball over, he's a solid quarterback. I think he's above average quarterback. Colts quarterback. I think he's above it. If he don't turn the ball over, I think he's above average. I think that's what makes him more average is the fact that he does turn the ball over.
I'm not saying he's. I think he's in his perfect role as a backup. I think that's I think he's a solid, real like top tier backup quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's a starter, every game starter. Which this year he's started most of the games. He's been playing pretty well, but I think
what happens though if let's say the Colts win the rest of the games this season, makes the playoffs, they end up winning what 12 games, 13 games, and make the playoffs. I mean,
Richardson will be starting next year.
he may be elsewhere. He may say, "Hey guys, man, I can go." I mean, there's going to be
There
people,
might be a team that'll give him a starter. I hope he's back with the Colts as a backup.
I hope so too. I mean, he's the best
But
backup quarterback.
I don't see any way. The only way there's only maybe two ways that I see him being the starter for the Colts next year. One is if somehow Richardson isn't healthy, and the only other way I can see maybe is if somehow the Colts was to go on this season, go on a run and win the damn Super Bowl.
And
which I don't think is going to happen.
No.
But that's the only two ways I see Minshew being the starting quarterback for the Colts next year. Oh yeah, I agree. Don Zappy has looked better than Jones. Yeah, Pelicans disappointed me last night, man. They did because I thought that was going to be a close game, real good game. I actually kind of had the feeling that the Pelicans might win that game.
I picked them to win.
And yeah, they didn't play well last night. Play very good last night at all. That caught me off guard. I never thought the Lakers would blow them out. I really didn't.
I thought the Lakers might beat them, but I didn't think they'd blow them
out. My Pacers played another real good game last night. Hopefully we can play another one tomorrow and win this in-season tournament. That'd be pretty cool. Halliburton's been on a tear, man. He's fun to watch. I'll tell you somebody that impressed me last night. He don't get a lot of recognition because a lot of what he does doesn't have. I mean, he scores some, but a lot of what he does doesn't show up in that box score. Is Neesmith. Yep. On the defensive end, the job he was doing against Giannis a lot of that game last night, and his physical play on the defensive end, and he came up with some big rebound, and he also hit a couple big shots too. But what he does on the defensive end is big for the Pacers, and I don't think it gets talked about enough yet.
I tell you, I thought our bench played really well. I thought our bench players played really well.
Well, that's what makes the Pacers so much better this year than last year is our depth. I mean, because you got so many guys that can score. Mathurin, Nembhard. I mean, Neesmith comes in. Isaiah Jackson's been playing well. Jalen Smith, when he's healthy, plays well.
Now they got from the Knicks.
Oh, Toppin, which he's been starting. Which, and I know you remember. I was happier than hell when the Pacers got him in the offseason because I didn't understand what the Knicks were doing with him. I watched him play some last year, and he'd play well. And then, especially in the playoffs, he had a good series, that first playoff series, and then they won. And with that next series, they didn't hardly play him in that next series. Like, why? So I was happy when they got him because I think he's still developing. He's going to be a good player for us. But yeah, they got a lot of guys. I mean, we have like I think 8 or 9 guys averaging in double figures most games. So, but yeah, Halliburton though looks a totally another level right now, man. Yes. Looks he's been playing like one of the best players in the league.
Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yeah. I mean, last year he had that one injury, but other than that, he didn't do too bad. But
it was just the fact that he had trouble getting back to that level after.
Yeah, but when he came back, then you had Turner missing games. Yep. It was like we couldn't ever get everybody healthy at the same time after that. Which this year it seems like right now at least we've had a couple guys, but for the most part, and then like Halliburton, they didn't even know if he was going to play the game against the Celtics because of had the flu, some kind of virus or something, wasn't feeling well. I think they called it a respiratory infection or something. But he played. He struggled in that first half against the Celtics shooting the ball. He was still getting his teammates involved with assists, but in the second half against Celtics, he shot the ball lights out. But last night, he came out scoring from the get-go and also had like 15, 16 assists. And the way he can pass the ball, he's an underrated passer. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun to see what kind of season the Pacers end up having, but I'm excited about the way they've been playing, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, the way the seasons have been for the Indiana teams the last few years, this year's hasn't been too bad so far.
Yeah, been competitive.
Colts are, I mean, sucks that we lost Richardson early in the season, but we're still 7-5, have a chance to make playoffs. reason it really sucks to me that he is missing the season is because I'm not going to say we'd have a hell of a lot better record right now if he was started the whole time. We might have a little bit better record, but I can't guarantee that. But one thing that I can say is it's hurt us because he's not out there getting that development, getting the play, getting that experience, getting them snaps and playing time. So that kind of that's why it sucks to me so more that he got hurt than the winning or losing, because who knows what our record would be. I don't think our record would be worse right now if he was starting. I really don't. I think it'd be around the same, maybe a little bit better, because there were some games we could have won that we've lost. But I don't think our record would be worse. And then the Pacers, I mean, I was expecting them to be better this year than last year, but they've been better than what I've expected. So hopefully we can keep it up, and hopefully it's a sign that our teams are starting to turn the corner and getting back to having some winning seasons. We got a little spoiled there for a while with the Colts with Manning, and then
we did.
No, it didn't always lead to Super Bowls, but we was always competitive and won the better teams. And then even the Pacers for a long time were always competitive. And then after Manning, we had Luck and we was competitive. And then since Luck retired, it's been rough. Being a Colts fan's been a little bit rough.
But it could be a lot worse. We could be a Detroit Lion fan. I mean, they're getting good right now, but they struggled for a long, long time. And there's other teams too.
Browns
have been a long time for them too.
Hell, they got their team taken away, get a team back, and they still ain't been able to do nothing. And the city that took your team away won a Super Bowl.
Baltimore, yep. We stole Baltimore's team, they stole Cleveland's team.
And then now you got all these Pittsburgh and New England fans crying. It's like you guys were spoiled for a long time too, like the Colts fans used to be, especially New England.
Who's been New England? Who's the other team?
Steelers.
Oh,
it's hard for me to root for either one of them teams because they were always when Peyton was with us, they were always our rivals, the teams that kind of kept us from getting where we wanted to go, especially the Patriots, but even the Steelers there for a couple years.
And heck, I don't. Since the coach they have right now, the Steelers had a losing season.
No.
So I mean,
yeah, but I understand that. It sounds good when you say that. Never had lose it. But if you have last 3 or 4 years, they've been 9-8, barely being over 500. That gets old. I know it's considered a winning season, but that gets old after a while if you're not making.
But they lost their quarterback, had been there for they lost Roethlisberger, but somehow they still getting 500. So I mean,
even this year they got a winning record.
You could say they're a quarterback away. Still.
Well, I think that, but also when you see these other teams being able to bring in some backups and have some kind of success on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Pittsburgh has a winning record, but it's not because of their offense.
No.
It's been and their defense hasn't really been as good this year as they usually are. They're like 20th in the league.
Yeah, it's real consistent. They can play really well for a quarter or two, and then they'll have a bad quarter. It's not consistent. And for the Colts, our defense ain't been what I thought it would be.
No, our defense is let us down a little bit, or we'd have a little bit better record than what we have had, because our offense has been better than what I thought it was going to be, especially after you lose who your starters was going to be. You didn't know what your offense was going to look like with a rookie quarterback, which when he played, I thought he played pretty good. He added a dynamic to the offense that we don't have now, and I think that opens up stuff for other players, other people too. So it'd be interesting to see when he's healthy. But Minshew stepped in, played great. I mean, has played good. I'm not going to say great because of turnovers, but he played good, done a good job for us, and has us in a position now where I mean, we kind of control everything's in front of us. We can get to the playoffs. I think if we win, especially if we win 4 of our last 5 games, I think we're going to be in.
We win 4 of our 5 games, we could have a shot at winning the division. Yeah. I'm not saying we won't win it, but we could.
Don said he was going to take the under the 42 in the Colts and Bengals game.
I don't know. The way the Bengals looked last week,
I don't think that. I'm not going to say Browning's going to play terrible, but I don't think he's going to have that kind of game this week. He had like a game. a game of his life that night. And
The Bengals or Jacksonville, neither one played defense.
I don't think he's that good, but I'm not going to say he's terrible either. So I think it's going to be more of an in between game on that. Bengals defense hasn't been playing as good up to what we've seen their capability, but this could be the game that they do. So, yeah, that over under on that game's hard for me. I can see it. I can see it being under, but I could also see this turning into kind of a shootout like the Jacksonville and Cincinnati game did. But then I could also see it being a lower scoring game. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it because I didn't get to watch last Sunday's game because we was out of town. Well, I watched a little bit of it when we was at the restaurant eating, but listened to most of it on the radio. Get to watch it. Get to watch a lot more football this Sunday. So I'm looking forward to Sunday. Well, before we get out of here, my picks. I'll go over my picks for today and the weekend real quick. I was 5-2 yesterday. That puts my record at 7-12 and 545 on the year. NBA tonight, I like the Celtics minus 7.5, Timberwolves minus 6.5, Suns plus 2.5. Hockey tonight, Panthers money line and the Oilers on the money line. On Saturday, I like Army at the minus 2.5 and over Navy in the college football. NBA in-season tournament championship game, I'm taking the Pacers at the plus 4.5, and I like the over the 240.5 in that game. And then Sunday NFL, taking Rams plus 7.5, Falcons minus 2.5, Lions at the minus 3, Texans minus 3.5, and I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills at the plus 1.
Okay, my picks for Friday, NBA, I got Toronto minus 5.5 at Charlotte. I got Houston at Denver. I'll take the Nuggets minus 9. I got Dallas minus 8 at Portland. NHL, I got Pittsburgh at Florida. I'll take Florida money line. I got St. Louis at Columbus. I'll take Columbus money line. I got Minnesota at Edmonton. I'll take Edmonton money line. My Saturday college football pick, I got Army minus 2.5 at Navy. College basketball for Saturday, Illinois at Tennessee. I'll take Tennessee minus 4.5. I got Wisconsin at Arizona. I'll take Arizona minus 7.5. And NBA, I got the Pacers versus the Lakers. I'll take over the 240. And then Sunday NFL football, I got the Colts plus 1.5 at Cincinnati. I got Buffalo plus 1 at Kansas City. I got Houston minus 3.5 at the Jets. I got Detroit minus 3 at Chicago, and I got Philadelphia plus 3.5 at Dallas. That's my picks for the weekend.
All right, we appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, I'm pretty sure we'll be live tomorrow, right around 6:30 on YouTube and Twitch with NGW Pro Wrestling tomorrow night. Should be a good show. So join us for that. If something happens and we're not live, that means that we couldn't get good enough internet there, and we'll air it on probably Monday or Tuesday, something like that. If you missed the interview last night with Chris Chaos and Warren Misery, go check that out on Facebook and YouTube as well. We appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram at Gonzo Sports Room as well. Hope everybody has a good weekend. Enjoy the games, and we will see you guys on Monday.